I'm often asked, what makes a good chisel? Let me offer you my 5 criteria. Number 1, it needs to be comfortable. If it isn't comfortable, no matter how good the steel is, you won't reach for it. Number 2, it has to have good steel. I want it to hold an edge. Number 3, it needs to be properly shaped. What do I mean? It needs to have relief angles on the beveled edges that will allow you to get in between the tails and not bruise the tails when you're trying to reach into those corners. Number 4, it needs to be easy to set up. By that I mean the initial preparation, the flattening and polishing of the back, needs to be as simple and easy as possible. And number 5 is kind of a bonus. It would be nice to be able to have whatever I want for handles. If I've got a pretty piece of wood that I'd like to make a chisel out of, I'd like that option. Let me introduce you to the IBC Chisels. I went to work with IBC several years ago developing these, and here's what we came up with. They're available first in either maple or walnut. They're very nicely balanced. They feel great in the hand. But what you can do is take the handle off, remove the ferrule. Now, when your initial setup phase, that will lay perfectly flat on the bench stone so that you're not bumping into the ferrule when you're going through the process of flattening and polishing. The blade is made out of cryogenically treated A2 steel. It is Rockwell hardened 6062, so it will hold an edge, and don't believe a lot of what you read. They're very easy to sharpen. It has proper relief angles on the edge. By I say proper, I mean they're backed off enough that you can get in between 2 tails without bruising the tail, and yet there's a little wee landing right there that protects your hand. If that beveled edge was able to come right to the bottom, that would leave a very sharp, dangerous edge. That little landing right there protects you. Very easy to set up, as I mentioned. And the nice feature, as you can see, is you can make your handle out of anything you want. The chisel goes together with an aluminum cap. It's got a connector rod, a ferrule, and that goes into this chisel itself. The handle sits in between. Because of that, you're not actually hitting the wood. I've got one here out of Ambonia burl. That's not typically a wood that you would choose for a chisel handle. It's not very tough. Or this one is fiddleback catalpa. Pretty wood, but not very strong. In this case, you're actually hitting the aluminum cap, so you can use anything you want. If you want a really light chisel, you can use a pine handle. And if you don't care what it weighs, you can use whatever wood you want. But it's a wonderful option, and I think it's unique in the chisel industry. IBC Chisels, available in quarter, 3/8, half, 5/8, 3/4, and 1 inch. These are the type of chisels that you will only have to purchase once.